Vertebrae. Get the pressure off the brainstem and the head back to vertical, because your body is what caused that pelvis to shift because the upper body was leaning. When this is no longer present, your body straightens that out. During the correction, we can actually feel as the spinal bones are moving, even though this is the only area we actually contact. Can you see how that can cause low back, mid back pain?
Yes, I can.
This is similar to when you pick up a big heavy suitcase. You don't fall into it, you lean to the opposite side, just subconsciously trying to balance yourself. That's all your pelvis is trying to do, just compensate for what's going on up higher.
With the lower back problems I was having when I was in my early 30s, the MDs and some of the chiropractors were telling me, don't pick up anything over 20 pounds. You'll have back problems the rest of your life. You'll have to learn to tolerate the pain. We can give you painkillers. You know, all that stuff about I'm going to be an invalid. And I was only 30, 35 years old. Found the chiropractor who happened to be an upper cervical chiropractor. Went to him, he adjusted my neck. I went to work the next day, and everything has worked out well. Today I'm 67 years old and I do anything that I want to do of a physical nature.
Sonar correction. The sonar correction can then be performed.
How does sonar impact such a variety of problems and with such gentleness?
The sonar instrument moves bones using a branch of physics called resonance frequencies, or harmonics. An example of this is used on an offshore oil rig. In the past, a ship would use a hoist to lower a large box onto the oil rig floor. This box would contain tools, water, food, and so on. It was extremely heavy and almost impossible to move manually. But a way was found to move it with only 2 men. One would hit the floor of the rig to cause a vibration. The other man would push the box.
Harmonics are used everywhere. Look at this demonstration of how powerful harmonics can be in nature.
This is an example of destructive harmonics.
In 1940, the 4-month-old Tacoma Narrows Bridge began to sway dangerously in 40-mile-an-hour winds. Local residents called it Galloping Gertie. Ultimately, gales sweeping down the Narrows set up uncontrollable undulations, and the bridge collapsed into the water.
The sonar machine works in a similar way. The instrument matches the frequency of your bones, causing them to move.
This will even unwind you all the way to your tailbone.
Sonar doctors dial in the exact angle and the instrument vibrates the bone toward where it should be. This is an example of constructive harmonics.
For probably about 10 years, I've had shooting pains down my legs, and my back would go out periodically, and I would have to go to an orthopedic surgeon. I had already heard about the Elliotts, about the Sonar Clinic, but wasn't quite sold on the whole idea. I was laying on the table and the sound thing had done its magic. My shoulders were back so far and my head was so much higher than I could ever imagine that it, I mean, I can't even remember when I stood that straight in my whole life.
What's next? Healing. The Myomatic is an instrument developed in California that is used by the U.S. Olympic team and many other professional athletes. It is used to accelerate soft tissue healing, including muscles, ligaments, nerves, and blood vessels, and also works to reduce pain and swelling, while increasing range of motion and strength. The Myomatic is exceptional for headaches, jaw pain, neuropathies, arthritis, bursitis, tendinitis, and surgery trauma. Best of all, the Myomatic shortens your healing time.
2.5 years ago, I had some heart problems and my heart was very irregular, and I'd been to my medical doctor. We tried to get it straightened out. It wouldn't straighten out. And I came in to see Dr. Elliott. And as he was adjusting me on the table, my heart just smoothed out and started beating perfectly. It's been that way since. I have been a patient of the Elliott Chiropractic for over 60 years. I started out when adjustments were done by hand, and I've seen it progress into the using of the Sonar instrument. Sonar is great. It does work.
It's very important in order for you to be healthy that your nervous system be functioning at peak capacity. Let's talk about 3 different types of stresses. First, there are physical stresses. Now, physical stresses would include things such as getting into a car accident, or falling down and banging your head, or working too hard or playing too hard. Those are all examples of physical stresses. A second type of stress that we go through would be emotional stress. Examples of emotional stress would be a death in the family, stressful home environment, if you had an argument, or working too hard. Those are all examples of emotional stress. A third type of stress would be chemical stressors. Those would include eating bad food, drinking polluted water, breathing polluted air, or even the medications that people take into their bodies that are interacting with one another and causing a chemical influence in the body as well. So these are the different types of stresses that you can experience. And your nervous system has to take all of these stresses and adapt them properly to maintain proper body balance. So as you can see, your nervous system must be functioning at peak capacity in order for you to remain healthy.
So do I recommend it? I highly recommend this. Without this service, I would be dead right now. I would have committed suicide. But today, no pain. It's over. I feel great.
Why suffer unnecessarily when you can live life to the fullest? Schedule your free consultation today.